Our survey results are in. We want to share them now.
Where did expats meet their girlfriends and wives? We asked on 2 Facebook groups, and the results are in right now. 276 votes were cast on 2 separate Facebook groups. One group with 15,000 plus members, Philippine Expat Society, and the second group, Philippine Expats, with over 40,000 members. And the results are in. 60% met online and 40% met boots on the ground. Now, we've all been there. We've met the man bun fella on the airplane next to us telling us that no, online dating is the future and it's the only way to go. And then we've met that weathered expat. He's telling us he's been here for 10 years and he knows everything there is to know. And he's saying boots on the ground, only boots on the ground. Well, we went ahead and did a quasi-scientific survey, and we asked, how did you meet your girlfriend or wife? And the expats spoke. 60% met online and 40% in person. Now, possibly the type of person who enjoys using a Facebook expat group is more of a technology person to begin with, and maybe it's a little bit weighted that direction because of that. So for argument's sake, let's just say it's 50-50. There is no best way. And maybe combining boots on the ground with online, a hybrid approach where you do online before boots on the ground, but still do online while you're boots on the ground, that might be the best way to go. Today, we're going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of both. And stick around, we're going to share a new medical study was published just a couple of days ago. For men over 50, do this to get over jet lag much quicker. Stay tuned. We're going to share that with you later on. But first, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. It's good for your karma. Now, what are the advantages, Chrissy, of boots on the ground versus online dating? Or wait a minute, there is no advantage. Maybe this doesn't make any sense. And we're going to share with you some of the comments we received from our 276 respondents about how they met their significant other and how that might help you if you're on the lookout for the love of your life. Stay tuned. Here we go. Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Coke. So we have a Coke-Pepsi controversy going on in our comments, and we've received many, and thank you. Today, let's talk about the advantages and the disadvantages. Let's go through them more carefully, and then I want to share with you some of the expat comments we got. Advantages and disadvantages of online dating for expats. You have access to a larger pool of potential partners. There's almost 130 million people in the Philippines. Online dating platforms provide access to a wide variety of potential partners that you might not encounter in your everyday life, or if you fly only to Manila, Cebu City, Dumaguete, Bohol, a few of the highlights like El Nido, those province girls aren't going to be in those cities. So online dating is giving you access to a much larger dating pool.
Convenience. Online dating allows you to browse and connect with potential partners from the comfort of your home or anywhere with an internet connection, making it convenient for busy individuals.
You have a matching algorithm. You have the science of the computer helping you. Many dating websites and apps use matching algorithms to suggest compatible matches based on your preferences and interests, increasing the likelihood of finding a compatible partner. You want a college-educated woman, you want someone who's musical, you want someone who's religious. The algorithm can put those wants and desires to work.
Filtered searches. You can filter your search criteria to find people who match your specific preferences such as age, location, interests, and more.
Initial screening. Online profiles provide information about a person's interests, values, and lifestyle, helping you assess compatibility before initiating contact. So you can go through a large volume of potential matches and do some sifting, sorting, and condensing.
Control over communication. You can control the pace and frequency of communication, allowing you to get to know someone gradually and establish a connection before meeting in person.
Well, Chrissy, there's quite a few disadvantages. People love to talk about them. You know, I was scammed. I sent money. I was emotionally scammed. I had somebody talking to me. I had somebody talking to me while they were engaged for a month and a half. We all know about the disadvantages. Let's go through them a little more carefully. Number 1.
Misrepresentation. Some individuals may exaggerate or misrepresent themselves in their online profiles, leading to disappointment or even deception when you meet a person.
Holy cow, the use of filters nowadays. You see 5 pictures, 4 of them look like a different person. One of them usually is the real person. The trick is figuring out who's who.
Do I look like the same person that you talking about?
One of the 2 pictures. Safety concerns. Online dating carries safety risks as you may not always know who you're interacting with. It's essential to take precaution and meet in public places initially. You know, there's that picture of the guy in the basement eating Cheetos that you might be talking to that always comes to my mind.
Superficiality. Online dating can encourage superficial judgments based on appearance and limited profile information, potentially overlooking deeper compatibility factors.
These apps can overwhelm you. As a man, you're not used to receiving 400 emails in a week. And you can just, it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. In a way, it's nice, but in a way, it can really overwhelm.
Communication challenges. Text-based communication may lack the nuances of face-to-face interaction, making it harder to gauge chemistry and compatibility.
Time consuming. Online dating can be overwhelming in that it's time consuming, as often it involves sifting, sorting, and condensing multiple profiles and arranging times to video chat and set up dates.
Ghosting and rejection. Online dating can lead to experiences of ghosting, or sudden cessation of communication, or frequent rejection, which can be emotionally challenging.
There's a financial subscription cost. And boy, you know, once you sign up for one of these dating sites, you're worried you're going to be able to turn off that subscription. Now we're going to talk about boots on the ground. That's an old military term, but really we're talking about in-person, traditional, old school, the OG kind of dating. Just off the top of your head, what do you think is the number one primary advantage?
The advantage is you can hug and kiss.
Well, I'm all for that. Okay, let's go through it from a more technical point of view. Number 1, authenticity. Connections, meeting someone face to face, allows you to establish a more authentic connection. You can gauge chemistry, body language, and immediate attraction, which can be challenging to discern online.
Natural social skills. In-person dating helps you develop and practice essential social skills, including conversation, active listening, and reading nonverbal cues, which are valuable in all aspects of life.
Shared experiences. Going to real dates allows you to share actual experiences like dining together, bowling, sports, and that's real valuable.
Immediate feedback. You receive immediate feedback during in-person dates. If there's a connection, you'll know right away, and if not, you can move on without wasting time in prolonged online conversation.
Trust and safety. Trust and safety are important, and you gain an advantage with dating in person. In-person dating offers a level of trust and safety through physical presence, especially when you meet in public places. Well, catfishing is hard to do when you meet in person.
Limited distractions. In-person dates tend to have fewer distractions compared to online conversations, where it's easy to multitask or get distracted by other online activities.
Emotional connections. Sharing emotions and vulnerability in person often feels more profound and authentic than through text messages or video chats.
Compatibility assessment. You can assess compatibility in real-life situations, such as handling disagreements or enjoying shared hobbies, which can be more telling than online profiles.
Avoiding catfishing. In-person dating eliminates the risk of encountering individuals who misrepresent themselves online.
Offline serendipity. In-person encounters can lead to unexpected and serendipitous connections that you might not have encountered online.
Well, is it all roses? There must be some disadvantages. You know, I always wondered, Chrissy, when a man says he's going to pick you up at home, and it's your first date, aren't you worried he's going to drive you out in the woods?
Maybe I will be afraid.
Yeah, but women do that all the time.
Maybe if that happened to me before, like someone will invite me for a date and then he will say, I'm gonna pick you up. Maybe I will say, I'm gonna bring my sister with me.
Let's talk about it from a more technical standpoint. Limited access. Dating in person restricts your potential pool of partners to those you meet naturally in your daily life or through social circles. So if you just show up in the Philippines, yeah, you're going to get introduced to Filipinas by the guys you meet, their girlfriends. Word will get around. People will approach you on Facebook to be friends you've never met before. They just see you're a Westerner in town. And there's a zillion Filipinas here, but it's not like searching through half of 130 million people and finding that province girl you're looking for.
Reduce initial information. Unlike online dating, where you can read profiles and see interest upfront, in-person dating often begins with less information, making it challenging to assess compatibility quickly.
Time and effort. Meeting people in person takes a lot of time, effort, and cash.
Uncertain compatibility. It can take several dates to determine if you're compatible, potentially leading to disappointment after investing time and emotion.
Yeah, because it's a screening process, Chrissy. You take a person out to dinner, cha-ching, $100 some odd dollars. You need a second date. You're not sure. Go no go hasn't been decided yet. It's another expense, and it can be time consuming and a lot of resources. There's a risk of rejection. Nobody likes to get rejected. It's one thing when you get rejected online. You've never actually met the person. Maybe they don't really know how wonderful you are. But when you've gone on 2 or 3 dates and they don't want to go on a fourth, that can be kind of crushing. Limited flexibility.
In-person dating relies on your geographical location and social circles, limiting your ability to connect with people from diverse backgrounds.
We talked about a lack of safety, Chrissy. You never know you're going to meet. You never, I always say 2.9% of the population is a little off their rocker. So if you go on enough dates, you're going to meet one of them eventually.
Awkward moments. In-person dating may involve awkward moments or silences, which can create discomfort.
And difficulty for shy people. Some people are more introverted, and being able to meet online is a lot easier than having to show up and let your personality fly. So
Yes.
online, in-person dating can be a little tough, for a wallflower. So Chrissy, a lot of the expats who belong to these forums who took the survey were kind enough to provide some commentary on how they met their Filipina. Let's just share a couple of them. JH, after living in the Philippines for 2 years and not looking to meet anybody, he went out for a meal and met a Filipina who he fell in love with. He calls her his chill Filipina because she's so chill. We
Chill.
need a nickname for you. Yeah, let me work on it. We'll get back to you. TS says introduction by a mutual friend. RS was standing on the tarmac at a U.S. military base in Japan 50 years ago. Old school. RM, boots on the ground. WV says both. He was online while in the Philippines. MM, online dating seems expensive and scammers. Sites use bots with girls that don't even look Filipina. DC, he met his Filipina in America. VD met his Filipina in Kuala Lumpur. There's quite a number of people who wrote in. They met overseas foreign workers in the Middle East and other countries. JP says both, boots on the ground and online. GG slid right into her direct messages on Facebook, so I guess he spotted her on Facebook. DT, next to the mosque in Kowloon Park, Hong Kong. BD met online and then he visited 2 months later. There was some mix there where the hybrids that some did both while they were in the Philippines, or many met Filipinas who were working overseas. Does it match up with kind of what you thought the mix would be? Are you a little surprised by any of this information?
No, I'm not really surprised because nowadays online dating is really a way for the foreigner out there that wants to meet a Filipina.
But what about all the scammers and all the filtered photos? I mean, how does...
Well, scammers cannot be avoided even in person because there's a lot of scammers also in person. So let us say if the right person will come to you, it either an online or it's either you will meet it in the coffee shop or whatever it is.
Yeah.
When it is the person right for you, it will be right there for you.
There's a lot of problems that can happen meeting people online. But then in-person dating, you hear problems too. I still believe that maybe the best initial approach, it's not guaranteed to work, but maybe the best use of time, money, resources, take that 90-day subscription. Book your plane ticket to arrive 45 to 60 days into that 90-day subscription. If you meet a few people online, go see them. If you strike out, if it was scammer after scammer, and it took you 45 days to just get, brain damage, then you're boots on the ground and you still have your online subscription. So now you've got the best of both worlds. You're here. You get to leverage Facebook groups. You get to leverage expats who can introduce you. You can go to the bars. You can go to the restaurants. You can go to the malls. You can join activity groups, you can go on tours and meet people, and you still have that online tool active and paid for. So that may be the best approach. Neither is perfect, nothing's guaranteed, no one's opinion is better than anyone else's.
Yeah.
So Chrissy, Do you have anything to add?
So I think what they really need to do is just to balance everything. You can start in online dating, but do not put a very long period of time before you meet that person that
Yeah.
you met online.
Yeah, Chrissy mentioned in a previous video, I mean, you could spend 9 months chatting and then you show up and like, wow, you don't like what you see, you guys don't match and you wasted 9 months, and then you got to start over.
Yes.
Yeah.
But based on our experience, because we met online, the advantage online is you will be able to connect the person emotionally, spiritually,
Yeah.
and you can connect your soul first.
Yeah, we did.
And then when you get to see each other in person, everything that is like lacking in your relationship will just fill those blanks that you haven't experienced together with in person.
Right,
So
right.
that's the advantage.
Hi guys, I promised you a tip on jet lag. Coming to the Philippines may involve a long flight. As we get older, jet lag tends to affect us more. And just this week, a very interesting article was published you might be interested in. The University of Santa Fe Institute wrote just last week that if you avoid eating on the airplane and you avoid having a heavy meal during the departure period and then get on the time zone of your arrival city as soon as possible with an emphasis on a larger heavy breakfast with a little bit less for dinner for the first 3 days, it can take up to 2 days off the adjustment period for your time zone, especially for older travelers. So most of us expats tend to be a little bit on the older side, a little bit more silver in hair. And this is a tip for you. So eat before you head to the airport. Don't eat much on the airplane. If it's only a 6-hour flight to Europe or something like that, you can avoid that meal completely. If it's a long distance travel to Asia, eat the first meal, but maybe skip the last meal. Then get on your time zone, eat a hearty breakfast for 3 days, and emphasize that meal at a normal breakfast time in the destination time zone. There you go. Another tip from Fly Me to the Philippines. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Thanks again, guys.